Welcome to my YouTube channel Road Rider, where passion meets performance, and today we dive deep into a machine that's been turning heads and twisting throttles for years, the 2025 KTM RC 390. If you're into sport bikes that bring track DNA to the streets, this is one bike that absolutely demands your attention. Whether you're a beginner stepping into the world of performance motorcycles or an experienced rider looking for a lightweight beast with razor-sharp handling, stay tuned because we're going full throttle into everything the 2025 RC 390 has to offer. Let's start by acknowledging how far this bike has come. The KTM RC 390 has always been a favorite in the lightweight Supersport segment, known for its aggressive looks, nimble chassis, and a punchy engine that makes it an absolute joy on twisty roads and urban setups. But KTM didn't just rest on its laurels. For 2025, they've elevated this platform with refined electronics, updated styling, improved comfort, and more tech, making it a serious contender in the entry-level sport bike category, and honestly, even beyond. The bike retains its compact proportions, but everything feels tighter and more mature. The redesigned fuel tank, now slightly larger at 13.7 liters, allows for better knee grip, which is essential when you're tucking in on the straights or leaning hard into corners. The rear end is cleaner, with a sleeker tail section and an integrated LED tail light, giving it that premium Supersport silhouette. Slide onto the saddle, and you'll notice the new ergonomics. KTM has clearly listened to rider feedback. The clip-ons are now adjustable, allowing you to fine-tune the riding posture between sporty and slightly relaxed, depending on your need, be it a track day or a daily commute. The seat padding has also been improved, offering better support on longer rides, and the foot peg position remains high and rear set, providing excellent ground clearance for aggressive cornering. Now let's talk about the heart of this machine, the engine. The 2025 RC 390 continues to be powered by the updated 373cc single-cylinder, liquid-cooled engine, but it's now Euro 6 compliant and surprisingly refined. It puts out around 44 horsepower at 9,000 RPM and 37 Nm of torque at 7,000 RPM, which may not sound like much on paper, but in a bike that weighs just about 172 kilos wet, it's a riot. One of the most exciting updates in the 2025 model is the introduction of a bi-directional quickshifter as standard. Upshifts are buttery smooth, and the downshifts come with an automatic blip that's just addictive on spirited rides. Combine this with the slipper clutch, and you've got a machine that really flatters the rider, even if you're not Valentino Rossi. The gearbox itself remains a precise 6-speed unit, and the gearing feels well-spaced for both city and highway riding. The ride modes now include a customizable track mode, where you can set your preferred traction control levels and disable the ABS completely for closed-course riding. The new 5-inch TFT display is bright, crisp, and loaded with information. The layout is intuitive and now includes Bluetooth connectivity for turn-by-turn navigation, music, and call notifications through the KTM MyRide app. The switchgear is also revised for better tactile feedback and easier navigation through the menu, even with gloves on. Now let's talk about what really sets the RC 390 apart, the chassis and handling. KTM has retained the steel trellis frame, but with revised geometry for sharper handling and better feedback. The frame is lighter and stiffer, and the aluminum subframe contributes to the bike's excellent power-to-weight ratio. The result is a motorcycle that feels like an extension of your body when you're carving through corners. It's flickable, predictable, and incredibly confidence-inspiring. The suspension setup is race-bred. You get fully adjustable WP Apex USD forks at the front and a preload adjustable WP monoshock at the rear. This is a game-changer for fine-tuning the ride to your preference, whether you're heading to the track, tackling twisty mountain roads, or simply commuting through bumpy city streets. The suspension is firm but not punishing, giving you excellent feel and road feedback. Braking is handled by a 320mm disc up front, with a radially mounted biber caliper and a 230mm disc at the rear. The braking performance is sharp, with great modulation and bite. Paired with Bosch dual-channel ABS, you get consistent fade-free stopping power, even under hard braking conditions. On the road, the RC 390 is exhilarating. In traffic, it's nimble and narrow enough to filter easily. On the highways, It can cruise comfortably at triple-digit speeds without feeling stressed, thanks to the revised gearing and better wind protection from the redesigned front fairing. But it's in the twisties where this bike truly shines. It urges you to lean harder, brake later, and carry more speed through the corners, and it does all this while keeping you in complete control. The sound from the underbelly exhaust is also worth mentioning. KTM has managed to give the single-cylinder a raspy, aggressive tone without being too loud. It's engaging and adds to the sporty character of the bike, especially when you're banging through gears with the quickshifter. As for practicality, KTM has improved heat management significantly. The new radiator setup and better channeling of hot air away from the rider mean that even in slow traffic, the bike doesn't feel like a furnace between your legs, a huge plus for city dwellers. Fuel efficiency is also respectable, with real-world mileage hovering around 30-35 km/h, depending on how hard you ride. With the bigger tank, that gives you a decent range for weekend rides or light touring. Now let's address who this bike is for. If you're a beginner looking for your first sport bike that's not intimidating, but still delivers a thrilling ride, the RC 390 is perfect. It teaches you throttle control, cornering lines, braking technique, and gives you enough performance to grow into. If you're an experienced rider, this bike is an absolute weapon on tight roads or track days. It may not have the brute force of a 600cc or litre class bike, but it makes up for it with agility, electronics, and sheer fun factor. For 2025, KTM has really nailed the balance between raw sportiness and everyday usability. It's not just an evolution of the RC platform, it's a full-blown leap forward. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Peace out.